The Battle of Ghaghra, fought in 1529, was a significant confrontation in the Indian subcontinent that marked the consolidation of Mughal power under the leadership of Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire. This battle was part of a series of military campaigns by Babur, aimed at securing his rule in India after his initial victory at the Battle of Panipat in 1526. Babur, a descendant of Timur on his father's side and Genghis Khan on his mother's side, had initially established himself in Kabul before turning his attention to India. His ambitions were fueled by the promise of wealth and the opportunity to restore the Timurids' legacy in India. The Indian subcontinent at the time was a patchwork of fragmented states, with the Delhi Sultanate under the Lodis being the primary power. However, by the time Babur set his sights on India, the Sultanate was weakening due to internal dissent and external pressures. The Battle of Panipat in 1526 saw Babur defeat the forces of Ibrahim Lodi, the last sultan of the Delhi Sultanate. This victory opened the gates of Delhi and Agra to Babur, laying the foundation for the Mughal Empire. However, Babur's hold over northern India was not yet secure. Several regional powers and former allies of the Lodis posed significant challenges to his authority. Among these were the Rajputs under Rana Sanga of Mewar and the Afghans, particularly those loyal to the Lodi dynasty, who were rallying around Mahmud Lodi, a brother of the defeated Sultan Ibrahim Lodi. The Battle of Kanwa in 1527 further solidified Babur's position as he defeated the formidable coalition of Rajput forces led by Rana Sanga. Despite this victory, the Afghan resistance persisted, primarily in the eastern parts of India. The Afghans, along with some disaffected nobles, continued to challenge Mughal authority, aiming to re-establish Lodi rule. It was against this backdrop that the Battle of Ghaghra unfolded. The Ghaghra River, where the battle took place, is located in the northern part of the Indian subcontinent. The choice of location was strategic, as controlling this area would allow Babur to curb Afghan resistance and secure his eastern frontiers. The battle was primarily against the combined forces of the Afghan chiefs and the remnants of the Lodi dynasty, led by Mahmud Lodi. These forces had been gathering strength in Bihar and Bengal, regions that were crucial for their resources and manpower. In preparation for the confrontation, Babur utilized his proven military strategies, which combined traditional Mongol tactics with the use of artillery, a relatively new addition to Indian warfare. His forces were well organized and disciplined, comprising both cavalry and infantry units, with a strong artillery component that had proven decisive in previous battles. Babur's use of gunpowder weapons, such as cannons and matchlock guns, gave him a technological edge over his adversaries, who relied more on traditional arms. The battle commenced as the Afghan forces, led by Mahmud Lodi, attempted to cross the Ghaghra River to engage Babur's army. Babur, anticipating their movements, strategically positioned his forces to take advantage of the terrain and his artillery. The river itself posed a significant challenge, as crossing it under hostile conditions required careful coordination and timing. Babur's forces took advantage of the disarray caused during the crossing, launching a decisive attack that disrupted the Afghan formations. The clash was intense, with both sides demonstrating considerable valor and tactical acumen. However, the superior firepower and strategic positioning of Babur's forces gradually tipped the balance in favor of the Mughals. The Afghan forces, unable to withstand the sustained artillery bombardment and the ensuing cavalry charges, eventually succumbed to the Mughal onslaught. The defeat of Mahmud Lodi and his allies at Ghaghra effectively marked the end of organized Afghan resistance to Babur's rule. The victory at Ghaghra was pivotal for several reasons. Firstly, it eliminated the last significant threat to Babur's dominance in northern India, allowing him to focus on consolidating his empire. The defeat of the Afghan chieftains and the Lodi remnants ensured that there were no immediate challengers to Mughal authority in the region. Secondly, the battle underscored the effectiveness of Babur's military strategies, particularly his use of artillery, which would become a hallmark of Mughal warfare in subsequent decades. Thirdly, the victory at Ghaghra allowed Babur to extend his influence into eastern India, bringing important regions such as Bihar and parts of Bengal under Mughal control. In the aftermath of the battle, Babur focused on administering and stabilizing his newly acquired territories. He implemented policies to integrate the diverse populace and establish a centralized administration, laying the groundwork for the future expansion and consolidation of the Mughal Empire under his successors. Babur's vision for the Mughal Empire was not merely one of conquest, but also of cultural and administrative amalgamation, drawing from the rich traditions of both Central Asia and the Indian subcontinent. The Battle of Ghaghra thus stands as a testament to Babur's military prowess and his ability to adapt to the dynamic political landscape of India. It marked the final chapter in his quest to establish the Mughal Empire, setting the stage for the cultural and political renaissance that would characterize Mughal rule in India. Babur's success at Ghaghra and his subsequent policies laid the foundation for the empire that would reach its zenith under his grandson, Akbar the Great, and leave an indelible mark on the history and culture of the Indian subcontinent.